Hello friends, it's Cindy Brumbaugh from CindyLeeBDesigns.com, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Today's card is a fun fold that I am calling the double diamond gatefold, because it's got double diamonds and it's a gatefold and a cute little belly band to keep it together. We're using the True Beauty bundle that comes with the True Beauty stamp set, a distinctive watercolor look that stamps so pretty. And then it has the the Organic Beauty dies. Why they're not called the True Beauty dies, I don't know, but they're called Organic Beauty dies. It has that really fun trellis that covers the whole front of a card, and then all the dies to cut out these images. And then I chose a nice big image here from the Charming Sentiments that also has the dies that cut out right along the edges of the letters. But I'm using the Wishing You Everything Wonderful on this card. Okay, so we're also using 3 of the layering squares. If you have these, you can use those. If not, I'll give you the measurements of these layering squares. And that just makes our diamond here. Okay, let's pull over all of our fun little pieces here. So this is a gatefold. So we're just gonna pull these things up here, and a gatefold closes in on itself. So we're gonna start with an 11" by 4 1/4" piece of our cardstock. I'm using Mary Merlot here, excuse me. And I will let you know all of the, I have a little frog in my throat there, ribbit. All of the measurements and products I use are on my blog post. They're also underneath the YouTube description. In the description under there, it has links to my store and all the products I use, and also it has the measurements. But right where it says visit my blog here, press that link. It'll take you right over to CindyLeeBDesigns.com. You'll have additional photos there, and you can peruse around the site. So I'm going to be using my Stampin' trimmer here to make that gatefold. So whenever you make this gatefold, you can either do it putting the 11" side up here and just go in 2 3/4 on each side, or you can go in 2 3/4, and I think the other measurement is 8 1/4. But we're just gonna do the 2 3/4 on each side, but I will have the measurements. Keep your dark blade at the top and use your light gray scoring blade. I will have the measurement, I'm pretty sure. We'll just double check here, but we're just doing 2 3/4 because that is half of 5 1/2, which the 5 1/2 portion is going to be between those 2 score lines. So let's just take a peek here since I didn't jot it down. So it's really at 2 3/4 and 8 1/4. I was correct there. So if you want to just put your card in and score at 2 3/4, push it over, score at 8 1/4. So now we are going to, now this is an example of, this is the valley, this is the mountain. I like to fold in on the mountain, and that'll give us our nice gatefold there. And with a gatefold, you usually do want to make a little crisp burnish, making sure all your edges are flush on the top and the bottom, and another burnish here. Okay, there we go. So the inside of our card is going to have a 4 by 5 1/4, 4 by 5 1/4, and let's just do that right now. And what I'm going to do here, and I'll show you a little thing here. Okay, we're going to be putting a flower on the inside of our card. I opened up my 2 ink pads, my Mary Merlot, and I opened up my Mossy Meadow, and they looked practically the same color. They're both dark, and I stamped my leaves in the wrong one. So I then said, oh, hey, I'm just gonna take the labels off the back of my ink pad. So you'll notice on the back of your ink pad, you have these other ones, and I just take one of the foreign languages, and I just lift up that label. Ha ha ha, look at that dimensional. Okay, I need 3 hands. And then I'm just gonna put that, and I have never done this in like 20 years of stamping. But now when the ink pad is open, I used to try to fit it into here, and that's a little trickier, but why not just stick it right on here? So I just stuck it right on there. Now I know what color I'm using. Of course, it's a little easier when you're using like polished pink that's in the designer series paper, or you're using the, this one, you can tell the difference here, but those other ones were very close. But what we're gonna do on the inside of this card is we are going to stamp some leaves from the True Beauty stamp set. Now I'm using this beautiful, absolutely gorgeous paper that is the Awash with Beauty. And I'm down to my last couple pieces here and there of it, but such pretty floral patterns in there with Balmy Blue and Calypso Coral and some, I think it's, so Saffron, a nice soft yellow, Mary Merlot, Granny Apple Green, Mossy Meadow, so some really pretty colors that complement each other. So I'm going to go and put some leaves down here in this corner. And I want to have them on the page because they're so pretty. Or maybe I should do them, yeah, I'm just gonna put them right. Let's take a look at what I did. Oh, I just stuck a little die cut one there. Okay, but I'm going to, I want these to be, let me just bring a little something here. I'm going to put it a little bit off the page. So I have some leaves there and I offset them a little bit. And then I'm going to pop this polished pink one that I die cut with the dies. And the reason why I went ahead and stamped those, because it saves yourself a step of die cutting, but then I can put this on top and it'll look like it was, the leaves were sitting under it, because I was playing around with it and I couldn't quite get it looked like the green, it just didn't look right. So this way I have a flower right there on the inside. And so we can pop that into the inside of the card. So I'm gonna put a little bit of adhesive, some Tombow multi-purpose glue on those edges, and we're gonna stick it in the middle of our card. And here is that card. I'm gonna stick that right in the middle here. Leave a nice 1-inch, an 1/8 of an inch border all 4 sides. So that would mean this is 5 1/4 by 4 inches, and we have a nice decoration on the inside. Now we can come back and put this really pretty designer series paper. You're not going to notice if they're not 2 pieces that actually were cut apart. You're not going to notice that. You could, use little spare pieces, but I put a little glue on those too. And since these sections are 2 3/4, this paper is going to measure 2 1/2 by 4, because the doors on our gatefold are, and it seems to me that this is kind of how this paper goes. We're just going to put that on there so that we have like a 1/8 inch border the whole way around, using glue. Have a little bit of wiggle room. There we go. And this is the other one that, see, that matched that way, because the leaves are kind of going in a pattern to go vertical. There. Get that. Okay, so there's the front of our gatefold. Now we're going to play around with making the belly band. Now the belly band, I used 11 inch by 3/4 of an inch. Now, because it's 11 inch, and the way I usually make my belly bands is I just pop them and then I just fold them. I don't score them because they tend to get a little too tight. But notice it doesn't reach the whole way over. So my little work through for that was to stick a little triangle under there, and then we're going to cover up this opening with the flower. See that? I put it behind it because you then don't see any of that. So what we're going to do is put a little bit of adhesive this part, right? And you know what? I think that I might use, no, I guess I'll use adhesive. No, let's just use a little bit of our Stampin' Seal Plus because I already put away. So we're gonna put a little bit. I love how you can just get little pieces of that. And remember, we're putting it on the inside. See, it went on the inside because this little square that we cut to turn into a diamond is going to, and you kind of want to get it like around in the middle. And if you really want to count your 1, 2, 3, 4, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if you go down and you get it kind of in the middle when you're doing it, but I guess it really doesn't matter because I already folded it. You just want to cover up and get this. It really doesn't matter because it's going to, well, that does matter actually, because you want your diamond to go right in the middle. So you want to line up that diamond, but it doesn't have to be equal this way. So wherever you're going to do this, just make sure your diamond is lining up. That looks to be nice and straight. And then we'll just line up those edges. And so you can see that little bit of, but it was important to line this diamond up with the middle of your gatefold. But of course it can move here and there and everywhere. Then we're going to put a dimensional on the back of our flower that just one dimensional there. And that flower was stamped in Mary Merlot. And then that covers up the edges that came together. And then I just took and put little adhesive on the double leaf image that I die cut. And have it kind of going a little bit on the belly band. And then I took these two and I snipped them across. And that's where I actually, now that I think about it, I ended up with this little piece left over here, so I didn't have to stamp it. So we're just going to put a little bit of adhesive over here and pop that in. And we've got the belly band made. Now, the next thing we're gonna do is put together these squares. And like I said, the back of this paper is really pretty too. It's that big floral image, which I have a card post going up. And we're gonna put that on our square that becomes a diamond. And I loved this pink that was in the Awash with Beauty paper. And it's gonna go under here. And that's why you wanted to have your diamond straight, so they coordinate with each other. So we're gonna pop this off of here and we're gonna put adhesive. We're gonna line up our diamonds right on the middle there. And we're only putting it on the back of this portion. Okay, so here we go. I'm gonna put some Stampin' Seal Plus here. I'm like not putting it on at the right angle. So just line up our two folds like that. And you have the first one. And then we're going to put this one together as well. And this is the one I stamped with the Charming Sentiments. It's a nice big sentiment that fills up that space that I didn't feel like I had to stamp any flowers on it. It was just a nice big, and when you put just wishing you everything, that could be a birthday card. It could be a wedding card. Ooh, I have a wedding coming up. It might be a wedding card. It could be anything. So when I put this one together, I still put my adhesive on the opposite corner because it's only going in the corner, but I kind of lined it up with, making sure the wording is right, kind of lined it up with this square when I put it down so that it covers it up. So now it's right there and you open up your card. But it's a very easy and a very plain card, but adding this belly band, because I had to close it somehow, and adding the belly band when I was doing this we go. I know I fit you in there, so just cooperate. Whenever you put this down on here, the diamonds line up. So see how that works? And when I was originally making the card, I put these flowers right on the designer paper because it looked like they were just too plain without something under it. I just had it white, and then I tried stamping on the white around the flowers, and then the stamping was competing with the pattern. And so then I looked through all the backs of the patterns, and then I found this pretty pink, but yet this pink clashes a little if I stamped it with this polished pink, and this is supposed to be polished pink or blushing bride. Do they say blushing bride's in there? Yeah, blushing bride is in there. So I still went ahead and used that. And then when I ended up bringing down the belly band on front of the designer series paper, it really did pop. And when I originally made this belly band, I didn't have this little square that I flipped into a diamond, but then when I put it there, it really did pop off really nicely. So there you go, is a double diamond gatefold with a belly band. So if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask me a question, texting me 724-323-2296. You can also give me a call if you'd like to talk to a person, and also you could email me at cindyleeb@gmail.com. You can also comment on my YouTube channel. You can also comment on my WordPress, cindyleebdesigns.com blog. And if I miss one of those or you don't hear back from me in a day or so, just absolutely use one of those other avenues to get a hold of me. And also make sure that if you email me at cindyleeb@gmail.com. Do not reply back whenever you get notified of a blog post, because that is from WordPress, and then your reply gets put as a public comment on my blog. So if you need to ask me something, and just text 724-323-2296. Just give me, hey, it's me, Louise, and I was just wondering this. Or you can also email cindyleeb@gmail.com. Thanks for buzzing by, friends.